Sargeras is finally returning, but completely different. He's the last Titan? I don't know about these statements. Doran the Truth Teller, I don't know. But let's see why he believes Sargeras is the last Titan.
Sargeras is the last Titan, the only one in his original form, as the rest of the Pantheon was destroyed. However, why he decided to embark on the Burning Crusade is something I think we were lied about. Recent Certus info told us that the Titans are really not that different than him, they just use different methods. Furthermore, Illidan is like a mini Sargeras himself, trying to fulfill some perfect vision, disregarding the process, and once the Titans come to Azeroth, there is no way these two are being left behind. Sargeras is...
Yeah, I mean, these two right now, they're just chatting. Guaranteed, they're in the just chatting section of Twitter. They've been talking to each other and trying to figure out what the hell. I really think they're going to find out that both of them have been played by the Titans, and they're going to team up. I feel like we're going to see like some kind of your enemy of my enemy is your enemy. Who's my enemy? I don't know even if I said that right. But the thing is, I think there's a chance that these two kind of align, and they return somewhat teamed up.
Sargeras is very likely reverting back to his old form and coming in to finish the job. Everyone has been talking about how the last Titan is obviously Azeroth. I mean, who else could it be? She's an Ascent Titan soul, but literally there is barely any evidence for that. Keep in mind, all the information about Azeroth being a Titan is strictly from Titan sources, aka the Chronicle, and also Titan stories that they told their servants and that we learned about it subsequently. So I would 100% expect a Faceless One or any Black Empire servant to believe that Azeroth is in fact an Ascent Warlord. However, so much recent information actually completely contradicted this, and Azeroth could be anything from just a planet energy to an imprisoned ancient being, maybe even a first one. When it comes to the last Titan though, I think the most realistic assumption to make at this point in time is that it could be Sargeras. He really is the last Titan when you really think about it.
Keep in mind, like it could be Sargeras, it could even be Aman'Thul. Like we could fight all the Titans, and then the last Titan standing is Aman'Thul in the last Titan expansion. Like that could be it too. I don't think actually Azeroth is a Titan anymore. I don't. I think she's something bigger, something better than what a Titan is. But is Sargeras the last Titan?
The entire Titan Pantheon was actually defeated in ancient history. They are alive, they exist, but it's like this weird avatar thing, they just kind of are there. While Sargeras is actually a Titan in the original form, just corrupted by Fel, and I think that Fel corruption may completely dissipate through his years of imprisonment, and we are going to see the original Sargeras. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking here that Sargeras is a good guy, the Titans are evil, he just wanted to save us from the real bad guys. No, he's definitely a bad guy. We can personally
he's a bad guy.
Terrible things. I mean, this guy was blowing up planets and destroying civilizations. But the point I'm trying to make here is that there is a huge chunk in the origin story of Azeroth and Titan arrival and the entire Titan Pantheon storyline that we're missing that adds critical context to what is really going on. We actually have quite a bit of recent documents, some as recent as 2 months back. So let's take a look at what is really going on behind the scenes. As Sargeras was blowing up planets, you can blow up ships in the team-based battle game, World of Warships, and best of all,
I was just about to say, where's the ad? He freaking got me, the transition.
With over 500 historical ships across 11 different nations, you can control them in beautiful maps.
The Jailer's a prototype, Sargeras calling it.
Customize them. You got 4 different ship classes.
I think we're gonna see a return of Shadowlands lore. We're gonna see that built out or changed in a way because it was so shitty. That's definitely possible.
Historical blueprints from the first half of the 20th century.
We might not be done with the Jailer.
It's never been a better time to start. Use the code WARSHIPS and all new players will get 500 doubloons, 7 days premium, 2 million credits, a tier 4 ship, and 6 skill points commander. Check out World of Warships with my link in the description below. So the Titans have definitely been set up as the bad guys and are being painted more evil with each passing day. We got the entire book that gave us history on the dragons and how they corrupted them. And most importantly, we got some recent hints from the Twilight Hermit that were added to the game.
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, we talked about this guy talking. You know, he was about to tell us something, and then a voice in his head stopped him. Who we, most likely, is the Harbinger, and she's stopping him from saying anything to us. That's very possible.
just a month ago. When you come with the Titan transmog weapons, he says that Sargeras wanted to eradicate existence in order to impose his perfect vision, and that the Titans share this exact same vision, they just use different methods. And this isn't actually...
It's pretty awesome. But what he said is very, it's insightful into the Titans. But Xal'atath stopped him before he could really tell us what he was going to say.
Retcon, I mean, sure, they're definitely shifting the Titan narrative, but the Titans have never really been the good guys. They have never actually been on our side. Pretty much all the time, we were on the same team, but that is mainly due to sharing similar goals. Old gods are not good for life, and the Titans don't like them, so they defeated them, but they didn't do it in order to save us, but they did it for their own vision. We have seen their cold logic when they implemented a giant planet-exploding mechanism on Azeroth that we ran into on Ulduar that would eradicate all life in a split second just so that the Void doesn't gain a foothold. That just goes to show you that we are there as convenient assets, and that is exactly what Illidan is talking about, and as he said, soon we will see that in person when they arrive in the last Titan. However, that is not the topic. Obviously, they're not nice. What I do want to state is that I think a huge...
Can I just say, I actually think the Titans were originally planned to be the good guys, and then that kind of changed throughout. It wouldn't be weird for Blizzard to change their lore. They've done that 100 times before. But I really think the Titans were originally good guys. And then somewhere along the way, they decided to rewrite them in a, I hate to say this, morally gray way. Like, oh, I don't know. Are they good? Are they bad? They kind of have their own motivations. And as long as you're working to fulfill the same goals that they are, they're good. If you're not, they're gonna eradicate you.
Chunk of history is missing on what they're actually doing, on what this grand mission of the Titans really is. The story by this point is that they're just benevolent figures, seeding life, organizing planets, awakening their own as their voyage through the cosmos, and I think that just couldn't be further from the truth. Previous Shadowlands documents told us that the Titans are something akin to imposters. The true creators of the universe are the first ones. They have these zealots for all the forces, like behind the scenes. We have been in one. We saw that the Dead Pantheon was created there by the first ones. Super long story short, but the recent lore we got stated that 6 cosmological forces were in something that appears to be like a free-for-all, all-out war, that the first ones then came in and then created this order mechanism that seems to be based around Azeroth, as all the cosmological charts have Azeroth in the middle. This seems to be a really complex mechanism that is holding everything from falling apart, so that not a single force can get too powerful. So life goes to death in a cycle.
It's all about balance.
Destroys, order orders, but it's like this cycle where things get dirty, you clean it up, and it's just like a constant loop. However, each of the forces, as they're predatory by nature, is trying to break this cycle as they realize how stupid this is, and that it's just one big hamster wheel rolling for all eternity. So Sargeras switched to this order, tried to do it, Jailer tried to do it recently, the Void Lords are on this mission non-stop. Now, this here is where Azeroth comes in. You've heard this by now 100%.
The core of Azeroth lore is that there's supposed to be a balance to things, and that's why I think part of it could be that we find out Antaurus later, what was meant to be like the balance of Azeroth. Like they were supposed to be equal and opposite. And all these things are going to end up showing up, but I really think that that's some kind of balancing. Azeroth is some kind of balancing force. And that's why all sides are pulling at her to try to bring her to their side.
So I'll keep the info to a minimum, but there is an ongoing theory that Azeroth is a giant Titan prism. I mean, it's obvious the last Titan logo is the exact same thing as the Titan created prism for the Primal Incarnates, the rings and everything. So my thoughts are that this is the center of the World Soul Saga. Azeroth seems to be holding this enforced mechanism, and everyone is trying to break it free. I previously stated the Jailer, Sargeras and all, but others have tried to do it as well. I mean, we just had a document of Elune, the Life Titan, so from the Life Force, trying to plant a World Tree into Azeroth through deception. The light seems to invade all over the universe as well. It really seems like everyone is trying to break this mechanism. So why exactly would the Titans not attempt to do the exact same thing? I mean, everyone is trying to take it for themselves, but they just want to help and seed life. Now, Azeroth may not be an acid Titan, but if the Titan's plan succeeds, that is exactly what she will become. They're trying to convert it just like all the other forces so that their vision becomes the ultimate one. That is exactly what the Twilight Hermit said. Same vision, different methods. Sargeras planned to destroy everything as he shifted to this order, and the Titans are trying to order everything to perfection. However, where exactly does Sargeras come in this story? I think the answer lies here in this origin, and that almost everything we really know about Sargeras, apart from what we had seen, comes from Titan sources. Therefore, all of it could be a lie. The lore states that Sargeras already started going crazy due to the Void before Azeroth was even ordered, and that the Titans tried to convince him that Azeroth could be a useful weapon against the Void Lords, and that he should...
Oh, there was also a bunch of Dreadlord shit. Wasn't it now confirmed that the Dreadlords played a role in Sargeras' madness, that they kind of revealed the Void to him and led him on his crusade and all that shit? I believe that happened. They're still playing a role. The Dreadlords are doing something.
She just abandoned his crusade. Like, we could use Azeroth to stop doing this stupid thing. I don't think the goal here was to awaken the ultimate titan that is Azeroth, but to turn the mechanism in their favor. As you may remember, the recent documents from Shadowlands confirmed that the Dreadlords had their hands in this corruption, and they just kinda fueled this fire. As they said, show the titans the opposite force, they will be consumed by the urge to eradicate it, and that will fracture the Pantheon. However, as I said, most of this info, apart from the Dreadlord stuff, is from Titan sources, and I think this here is just incredibly subject to change. Like, it is way too one-sided. Was Sargeras really crazy, or did he not believe in the Titan plan? Did he think the Titan plan was ultimately foolish? It is impossible to predict. I mean, was his crusade really all that different from what the Titans were already actually doing? Keep in mind, he was shattering void corrupted planets with a sword, later with a demon army, and the Titans were actually already doing the exact same thing, just more sophisticated, so employing destruction mechanisms when they were corrupted, and also sending their own Titanforged army, so like a mini Burning Legion. My prediction is that there was a big disagreement in the Order strategy, and Sargeras was at the time a regular Titan.
I think Sargeras saw that they were going to lose. I think that was his thing, that he it's not that he didn't believe in the Titans' way of doing things, or he wasn't okay with ending life, he was perfectly fine with that. It's very clear. He was chopping planets in half. I don't think that's what he was trying to do with Azeroth. I think he was trying to do something else with his little pokey poke. But his thing was, I think he saw the Void as was winning. And he thought that the way the Titans were doing things was going to lead to an L, and the only way to flip that around was to go super aggressive and just start destroying things. And that was why he went down the path he went down.
At the time, a regular Titan, but he had to resort
with the power of friendship and glitter
against him, and then ultimately he really did go crazy, and that is how we got the Fel giant crazy demon guy. I mean, just remember from the lore how corrupting Fel actually is. I mean, as a warlock, if you get too greedy with power, you lose your mind completely. Like, a giant portion of demon hunters died and lost their mind in the creation ritual, where they consumed a tiny demon. And keep in mind, Sargeras absorbed like a planet full of Fel. So did he really go crazy? I don't think there is actually any denying that. I'm not here denying that the Burning Crusade actually happened. However, I think there is a lot that is missing prior to why he actually decided to take the Fel. So here is how I see Sargeras actually returning the last Titan and why he is actually the last Titan. Titans, as you may know, can reverse corruption. I mean, that is how they created a hellscape of the Black Empire into today's Azeroth. And seeing that Sargeras was in a Titan prison, I think the Fel is going to dissipate and that he's going to get some of his sanity back.
Yeah, maybe he will.
He's going to just look completely...
That's happened before. We've seen orcs, their Fel influence has faded over time. That's why you can make lighter skin, brownish. The Magar orcs are different, but I'm talking about your Azeroth orcs, the orcs that came over originally that were infused with Fel. That shit has waned over time. That's a proven. That's a lore fact. So it is possible that it has waned over in Sargeras as well.
Similar to his original form. Now, the key actor here is obviously going to be Illidan, and I think this entire storyline is not going to be happening without this
Illy boy will
being
return.
involved. I can't be the only one to see a very obvious parallel here between Illidan and Sargeras. Illidan was a do whatever it takes guy for the greater good, and he himself took on Fel in order to save Azeroth, in his mind the universe, and then he was jailed, no one believed him, everyone called him a betrayer for 10,000 years, and you can imagine that left quite a mark. And most importantly, he also had a personal jailer, Maiev. Well, look at Sargeras.
He also lost in the love triangle for Tyrande, so there's that too.
The exact same way, just on a universe-wide
took a lot of
scale.
L's.
Sargeras realized that the Titan plan would not suffice, they needed more radical measures. For this, he was called a betrayer by his own, painted as the devil, and he took on the Fel in order to save the universe, at least in his eyes. And now he has a personal jailer as well, that is Illidan. I mean, it is ridiculous how similar these two guys are. I don't think there is anyone else in the universe that could relate more than these two guys. I feel like Illidan might take all this information from Sargeras, realize that his lifelong dedication to destroying the Legion was actually futile, and that there are much bigger things coming to Azeroth.
Yeah, they're talking. They're definitely talking, and I think there's going to be realizations on both sides, for Illidan and Sargeras. Illidan, Sargeras will probably realize he's been duped by the Dreadlords, stuff like that, and Illidan will realize that the ultimate bad in this world is not the Burning Legion. While they were bad, there's something worse coming, and that's what he's going to have to defeat. And yeah, Monarch, your comment, Illidan teaching Sargeras to control the Fel, that could be possible. Although I would imagine Sargeras is much more powerful than Illidan and may have figured it out.
Sargeras and the Legion, and that he was but a single player in the grand scheme of things on what is really going
Sargeras
on.
is more powerful than Illidan.
It is super hard to say. I don't think Sargeras is going to become a good guy. However, keep in mind, when the Pantheon arrives to Azeroth, they won't be there to power his prison, and also there is no reason Illidan is going to continue working with the Titans when they're attacking Azeroth. Because of this, I think Sargeras might actually break free. I definitely think he will get his Titan form back, but like a scout version, and he may be trying to stop the Titans, or even more interestingly, he might even join them. Remember, previously he didn't believe Azeroth could turn the tide of this universe-wide war, but now he might be...
Maybe Iridikron's plan to kill the other Titans works, and then Sargeras returns to his Titan form in some way, you know, repurification. Something happens where he kind of goes back to his old form, and then he is the last Titan. I could see that happening. Because remember, Iridikron's plan is to, in fact, bait the Titans out so he can kill them. Maybe his plan works, and then Sargeras is left as the last Titan, but he comes back like in his Titan form. I could see that happening. Maybe. What's up,
convinced, and I could definitely see Sargeras coming together with the Pantheon in order to fight us. How this could be related to the sword, it is really hard to say. The recent hints told us that he chose Siltos on purpose, and that his final act was in service of the goal, and that is to eradicate all life from existence. The Hermit said the Void Whisperer stopped when this happened, so he may have tried to maybe get rid of Khatoon or to delay the Void plans as he knew Xal'atath was coming. It is also possible that he might have left the sword so he could return once again to get it himself personally, as he predicted.
He's using Azeroth as a holster. Yeah, maybe. Hive. Yeah, you're talking about Hive Destroyer. You're talking about the boss from the Nighthold. Yes, who gives us the visions of the worlds being taken over by the, the Fel and then the Void and all that shit. Yeah, that's all prophetic stuff. I'm sure that'll come around to be true in the end. Yeah, Blizzard lore is ass pulls. Just make it happen. Yeah,
scenario.
We'll
Personally,
see.
I don't think they're going to redeem Sargeras and that he was just led astray.
Star Augur,
he was a good guy. I think he is going to be the bad guy and the last Titan that we will actually be fighting. Keep in mind, Sargeras is the ultimate villain of the Warcraft universe, and we never actually fought him. We just observed him being imprisoned. Actually fighting him in Northrend in the ultimate battle would definitely be a really interesting scenario.
We are going back, we know that.
Thanks for watching. Check out what the name of Northrend will be like by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on ancient Greek colonies in Spain by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.
Yeah, interesting video. And the way I talked about towards the end there, I could see Sargeras being the last Titan. The whole Northrend stuff that he mentioned at the end, it's already confirmed. We know we're going back to Northrend. It's going to be a massive revamp of that. And it's very, obviously the reason why we're going back has to be Titan related, all those Titan facilities over there. So will Sargeras be the last Titan? It's possible. It's possible.